I'm sending in my fox. He's a spy.
Well, I have Stitch, and he'll eat your spy.
Oh yeah? I'll send in my 2 bears.
Well, that's fine. Stitch has this catapult.
Where'd you get a catapult from?
I found it up on that shelf over there.
You can't use that. It's for another game.
Well, I have it now.
Fine. I'll bring in our new cat.
Ha! What's he gonna do? Aww.
Greetings, all of you grown-up kids out there. I am Jeff. This is Tabletop Toolbox, and today I'm mustering my army of Beanie Babies and Care Bears as I defend my cardboard throne in Button Kingdoms, an upcoming Kickstarter project by Samuel Barmettler. I want you all to think back to your childhoods and all those times when you and your siblings or your neighborhood friends, cousins, whoever it was, sharpened your favorite cardboard swords, plotted your dastardly deeds, and set out on an epic campaign of backyard dominance. Personally, my brother and I were the Bodacious Brothers, and we had maps of the yard. We had fashioned borderline useless projectile weapons, and we had developed a network of secret bases, code words, and stashed provisions, preparing ourselves for an epic war that, frankly, never ever happened.
Why is he giving away all of our secrets? I'm calling Mom.
Gotta call my mom later. Anyways, but now folks, we can rebuild our cardboard forts, ready our league of plushed stuffed soldiers, and take the fight to the neighborhood in Button Kingdoms. This specifically 3 or 4 player game features deck building and a simultaneous real-time market that will have players fighting to claim their opponent's thrones. First, note that what I have here is a prototype, so the final version of this game may vary in terms of art, components, and even gameplay from what I'll be showing you in the rest of this video. Now, as I said, this is a deck builder, and throughout the game, players will be acquiring cards, representing a variety of characters in this plush world of stuffy conflict. Each of these cards have different day and night abilities, changing their purpose and impact based on the phase in which you play them. Each day starts with you drawing your starting hand of 5 cards, and then choosing how many of those you wish to use during the day. Daytime abilities will often grant buttons, the one form of currency in the game, or allow players to fortify their kingdoms with walls or tolls. In the evening phase, players will primarily be charging up for a fight, playing their remaining hand of cards, most of which will contribute to a total attack value. Before the evening phase, though, players will have their first chance to grow their armies in the Button Market Bazaar. And I'm telling you now, this might be the craziest deck building mechanism you have ever seen. So many deck building games simply let players buy cards from a common market, often while their opponents watch in vain as cards they desperately wanted are snatched up without consequence. Not so in Button Kingdoms, but before I can explain the market, I must first explain 3 important tools that players have at their disposal: their intention stones. These 3 stones will be deployed during each market phase to allow players to attempt to manipulate the market in their favor. The green buy stone indicates the player wants to buy the card in question. The gray boycott stone indicates the player wants to destroy the card in question. And the numbered intention stones, players will be given one of randomly at the beginning of the game, and the remaining stones will be available on the market to trade for, kind of similar to the game of Raw. Now, these are used to indicate your intention to sell a card on the market, as well as establish the price of the card. See, in the first weird twist of this market, the game isn't selling these cards to players, the players are selling these cards to each other. During the market phase, players will choose which of their 3 eye stones, as they're called in the game, to assign secretly to each of the 3 cards in the market. Once placed, all stones are revealed and each card is resolved one at a time. If a card has at least one seller and one buyer, the buyer must pay buttons to the selling player before taking the card. If multiple sellers are selling to one buyer, the lowest price is honored, paid to the appropriate seller. If multiple buyers are trying to gain a card from at least one seller, then the selling player chooses who gets to buy the card, and bribery is allowed. Alright, which one of you 2 want to wash my car? If a card doesn't have at least one buyer and one seller, it remains in place until the next round, unless a player chose to boycott that card, in which case it is forced out of the game. The last step, by the way, is retrieving your stones from the market board, but in doing so, players have a chance to swap their numbered intention stone with one currently attached to the same market space, starting with the highest stone in play. So if your 7 value token keeps costing you valuable sales, you can potentially swap it for a lower value. You'll make less money when you sell, but you are likely to be able to sell more often. Now, this market is nuts bag bonkers, and within this relatively simple mechanism are heaps and heaps of tactics, strategy, bluffing, sleight of hand, and nearly endless cycles of attempted mind reading. I want that card, but she knows I want that card, so she might try to buy it too.
Oh, he wants that card. Do I destroy it or make money off of it?
What if she destroys that card?
I should totally destroy that card.
But if she... Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
What the hell is wrong with his face?
This market phase occurs twice in each round of the game, after the day phase and after the combat phase in the evening. In that combat phase, you'll target just one of your opponents upon which to unleash all of the attack value you amassed from the cards you played in the evening phase. Health is tracked along the top of each player's personal board, and if your health token lands on or passes one of these colored spaces, your attacker collects a little bit of treasure. Treasure comes in 2 different flavors. This red token permanently increases your hand size for the remainder of the game, and this purple token allows you to empower your market actions, giving you automatic preference as a buyer, letting you become a buyer if you're not the cheapest seller, or possibly letting you profit off of a trashed card. Oh, and those forts I mentioned earlier, these can be discarded to negate 2 counts of incoming damage or to gain some money from a player who's attacking you.
My armies have come to attack you, Lord Empress.
Yeah, that'll be $5.
Do you take Visa?
There's one other interesting element of this game to explain, but before I do so, I want to further clarify the theme of Button Kingdoms just a little bit more. See, players are trying to defend their kingdom, as being reduced to 0 health will cause them to lose their throne to their attacking player, which is a 10-point hit in endgame scoring. But players don't represent their actual kingdom or even the rulers of that kingdom. Players are in fact the champion of their kingdom, the star of the show, so to speak. Each player is dealt 2 champion cards at the beginning of the game, of which they'll choose one to take into battle. Each champion provides their player with a special action they can take in the evening phase, but also provides a unique endgame scoring goal. Players, however, can also choose to keep their champion secret until the end of the game, foregoing that special action, but also keeping their personal objective secret from their opponents. Now, if a player loses their throne, their champion can continue to fight on as an independent, at least until half of the players in the game have lost their thrones, at which point the game ends. But losing your throne isn't the only thing to worry about. Laced into the deck are these spy cards, which force a variety of unpleasant effects on players. These are purchased like any other card, but the buyer can place them into the discard pile of any opponent they choose. Once in a player's hand, they'll have to choose whether to take the daytime or nighttime negative consequence, but will then have the option, for a small fee, to make these shady characters go off and become someone else's problem. Now, I don't usually delve too much into my personal thoughts on these Kickstarter projects because, for one, I know these games are still in development, but I'm going to share just a few observations that I've had while playing Button Kingdoms. First of all, deck building is perhaps my favorite mechanism in all of board gaming. I love the natural progression that occurs in these games, but that system is a bit less predictable in this game because you can't just buy up every card you want from the market. The fact that you are just as likely to buy the card you want as you are to stumble away from this market empty-handed makes each card in this market its own Schrodinger's cat. Consequently, of course, those market phases become some of the heaviest, thinkiest, nerve-wracking-est moments of the entire game, and they become brilliant opportunities to wrangle in a stronger player, deny them those purchases, charge them top dollar, crush their very hopes and dreams. Of course, that could be what happens to you. Ultimately, just know that your best or favorite tactics in deck building won't necessarily work in a game of Button Kingdoms. Of course, that also means that this game shines best at 4 players, where maximum market mayhem can be achieved. And given that 3 players is the minimum count, means that it's really up to you and your game group as to how often you'll be able to table this unique game of Conquest. Luckily, it is relatively easy to grasp by younger players. My 12-year-old daughter had no problem grasping the major concepts of this game, though I'm sure the complexities of the market may have escaped her. Dang it!
Ha! Didn't see that one coming, did you?
I have no idea what's going on.
Then again, she had no problem backstabbing her father with a broken promise during the attack phase. Anyways, I've had a decent amount of fun with Button Kingdoms. It looks like and can be played like a family game, but don't let the cutesy theme and delightful art mislead you. There is a dark, seedy underbelly to each of these kingdoms, and it'll take the bravest of champions to defend your home turf. To see more about Button Kingdoms, visit the Kickstarter page, to which I'll post a link in this video's description, or you can visit buttonkingdoms.com. Until then, thanks to Sam Barmettler for letting us check out this prototype copy, and watch your backs, folks. You never know who you can trust. 15 damage.
I can block all of that
How?
with my shields.
There's no shields in this game.
This lets me block all incoming damage.
Let me see that thing.
Cheers.
That is ridiculous. It said placeholder.
I don't care.
Yeah, Mom, what's up? No, I did not give away any family secrets. That's ridiculous. I will not apologize. Do you not remember the duck? Okay, no, we are not even going to go there.